1.
I have been urged to say the following. If you happen to like the excerpts you've seen so far, please feel free to subscribe to this sideshow and append any comments and questions, which I shall endeavour to deal with to the best of my theatrical propensities.
I'm now going to explain how to simplify a ratio. I've already explained before, I think, if you watched the video, that if you multiply or divide both components of a ratio by the same number, the ratio is unaltered, remains the same. Now over here, we can see that both parts of these can be both divided by 4. All right, so I'm going to divide both parts by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. We can't break that down any further, so we have that as our answer. Okay, the same method will be used for the next one. The number that goes into both of those is 5. Any number that ends in 5 can be divided by 5. So we'll divide both of those by 5 and get 3 and 5, because 15 divided by 5 is 3, 25 divided by 5 is 5. This one here is a little bit more awkward because it's got a fraction in it. So we'll blow the fractions away, and one way of doing that is simply to double both of these because of the denominator 2 there. If I double 7.5, it comes to 15, and if I double 15, it comes to 30. You could leave the answer like that, but we can reduce it to smaller numbers if you can observe that both of those can be divided by 15, and that is just 1 to 2. Finished. The next one again is a bit awkward because of the decimals. This time we can kill the decimals by multiplying through by 10. 8.7 times 10 is 87, and 14.5 times 10 is 145. Those good at mental arithmetic will be able to see that both of those numbers can be divided by 29. 87 divided by 29 is 3, and 145 divided by 27 is 5. So right, that ratio and that ratio are exactly the same. They both end up as 3 to 5. The next one here is, I'll do it by a long method first, and that is, if you remember how to add fractions together, look for the lowest common denominator of 8 and 12, lowest common multiple of 8 and 12, which happens to be 24. So we multiply both of these bits by 24. So 5 over 8 times 24, and the other is 7 over 12 times 24. Okay, 8 goes into 4 and 20 3 times, once there, 3 times there, which now makes the top 15. And 12 into 24 goes twice. 7 times 2 is 14. You can't simplify that one any further. This last one here is done in a similar way to this, but first we've got to change these into improper fractions, or what some people call top-heavy fractions. And you should know how to do this, I hope. What we do is times 2 by 3, which is 6, and add on the 2. So that is the same as 8 upon 3. And 3 4/5. Well, 3 5s is 15, plus 4 is 19 over 5. And I didn't mention it earlier on, but what we could have done here, the fast track method of doing it, is to do, instead of all this here, just times 5 by 12, which would have given us 60, and 8 times 7 is 56, and then cancel those down. We'd have got that answer here. So that's what the method I'm going to use for this last bit here. Just 8 times 5, which is 40, and 3 times 19, which is 57. That cannot be cancelled down any further, so
Please feel free to subscribe to this sideshow and append any comments and questions, which I shall endeavour to deal with to the best of my theatrical propensities.